Well, let me play devil's advocate again, since I'm a pessimist by nature.
Yes, you are.
Who's to say that the SEC with the Aggies won't become the Southwest Conference of the late 70s and 80s when everybody was on probation? I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah,
Alabama's in trouble right now.
Right.
Auburn is still in trouble,
right,
being investigated. Mississippi State should be in more trouble because it was, I think, Mississippi State representatives who started the Cam Newton stuff to begin with.
Right.
So,
and the one school we had, this tells you where the SEC is right now in the state of Tennessee. Neither one of those two schools have been mentioned.
In Tennessee, Tennessee's got problems. Football and basketball, men's basketball.
Neither one of those schools have been mentioned. Vanderbilt, not Tennessee. So there you go.
I mean, we're looking at 4 or 5 programs at least that have been having problems or being investigated by the NCAA or will be investigated by the NCAA or being put on probation or looking at with a slanted eye, and that's not even taken into account because Cam Newton was at Florida, right?
Right.
Before he transferred to Auburn, before he left, before he was at JUCO,
with the blend,
and he had problems at Florida.
Had problems with the blend.
So, and Florida had a few athletes get in trouble with the law, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the SEC is some squeaky clean conference, but it doesn't seem to have yet to impact them especially on the national scene, because all we hear about is they won 5 straight national championships. But how much of that winning, if any, was done because they bent the rules?
And we don't know. We're waiting on that. We're waiting on that situation. For whatever reason, this year has been a long year for the NCAA infraction committee. They are having meetings after meetings on a weekly basis, whether from Division 1 all the way down to Division 3. I don't know what's going on, what's happening, but something has transpired, either in not so much in the recruiting process, but it's something that was mentioned last night on 60 Minutes online. I'm going to get mine. I think I'm entitled. And I don't know whether it's the kid, the high school coach, the parent, third party, but something is going on. And and you see it a lot more on the basketball side, but here recently, football has just been a part of it for the wrong reason. Because you and I both understand that was one of the things that happened with the Southwest Conference you mentioned earlier. That was one of the downfalls. But as I say, as long as nobody got killed, it was okay. Am I wrong?
And I'm not even going to go down that road, but as a University of Houston graduate, I'm going to spin it back toward my alma mater.
All right.
In this sense, Aggies out of the SEC, out of the Big 12 to the SEC. What do you believe are
they got to do something?
You base the chances of getting invited to the Big 12?
Academically, that you all have reached a turning point in the process here on campus. The President Couture has vowed to make this a Tier 1 program, and he has gotten, I think he's in the process of finishing up with paperwork. Am I correct? And some way, somehow, young man, you all could be getting an invitation. Whether it happens within the next year, maybe, but I know down the road something has got to change, because you still have you got a new stadium at SMU. They're starting to Coach Jones is starting to hold on to some of the Dallas kids and all to help out with the programming up there.
Hold that thought.
Uh-oh.
No. I know you're being well versed and rounded.
Uh-oh.
I want to talk about SMU.
Okay.
I want to talk about my school right now. Let's talk about U of H.
Well, you got to get a stadium.
Okay.
That's really not mentioned SMU.
No, I know where you were going, but because I want to, one, give a shout out to our colleague Richard Justice from the Chronicle, who and our colleague as well, Sam Kahn with the Chronicle.
Okay.
Both writing about the pros of U of H joining the Big 12. But they also, especially Sam, also, because I know Sam is an alum, U of H alum, also talked about what U of H alums need to do better in the future, as in support all of the sports. Come to the football games, buy season tickets, buy the apparel, one simple thing is our airports in Houston. I go to Hobby. I don't see U of H gear anywhere in Hobby Airport.
And folks, he's speaking from not just what he heard, but what he knows for a fact, because we travel a lot. And when we step off these planes and step into town, in the lobbies, the biggest collegiate program in the city has either a co-op store on site, or they have apparel and banners hanging all over the place. And he's correct. We do not see any one of these. Well, it's true. We don't see a Rice, we don't see a U of H banner hanging at Hobby or Intercontinental for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it should be.
Agreed.
And that goes back to the one factor we hadn't talked about in a while: marketing.
Agreed. U of H marketing has gotten better.
And that's all it's gotten, just better. It hadn't done what it needs to do to get the word out.
No doubt. Because I remember years ago, early on, I first started making guest appearances on local radio sport talk shows. I remember telling our man Tom Franklin on KHRA 740 when I was a student here at U of H that marketing department was lacking, because on game day, the week of games, football games, there was no mention on campus that the game was coming up on that Saturday. There was no banners on. That's improved, because now on the marquee you see the game coming up and all that kind of things. So small steps have been taken and have been improved on campus, but on campus overall. Buildings are being struck all over the place, and another garage on campus. There are plans for Robinson to be gutted and done over. So, and Hawthorne's will be renovated as well. So there are a lot of positive things in store on the University of Houston campus. We still need to do more. And I say we, because like I said, I am an alum. We need to do more. We need to do better. So a move to the Big 12 would be great, as long as Oklahoma stays in the Big 12. As long as there is a Big 12.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. Two things, and I'm going to get to the Oklahoma situation. This past weekend, exhibition game, Saturday, after the fan appreciation, women's soccer, U of H and TCU. Didn't know anything about it. Didn't see anything mentioned.
Oh, that was on campus?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I saw the scores on Twitter, via Twitter, but I didn't realize it was on campus.
And that bothered me. That truly bothered me. Because I'm pretty sure at a morning public scrimmage that should have been mentioned. Whether rightly or wrongly, I'm going to put the blame squarely on marketing, because that is a part of their job. Am I wrong, sir?
I want to say,
because I didn't hear what was that.
I want to say this all ties into your point. In the email, on the alumni email for the athletics, it had for Fan Appreciation Day, I want to say that it did mention the soccer match. But that's just to the alums.
There you go.
I didn't see anything mentioning the Fan Appreciation Day on the athletic website.
There you go.
I went there earlier to see if they had to post anything about the parking arrangements, because there's construction right now going on in Robinson's parking lot. So I went to the website to look for anything. What's up there about Fan Appreciation Day on the website? Unless I missed it somewhere. I even went to football, sports, went to the football section, and didn't see it on there. That should have been for the event coming up.
Right.
That should have been biggest day right there on there.
Well, I found that in the headlines, but there was no update. It had been at least a week or so ahead of time. It wasn't on the upcoming events days is where I didn't find it,
right,
and where I should have. Now, once again, we go back to marketing, and that's been a source of contention for a long while because, well, it's been mentioned around campus by a lot of departments that marketing should not only be better, if you got in-house or you outsourcing it, find a way to get that done.
Agreed.
Because if you are headed down the road to a place and you want folks to know you're headed down the road to a place, at least let somebody know you're traveling. At least let somebody know that you've gotten there. And that is not moving in that direction right now. Hopefully it will get better than what it is. But folks, we got less than 2 weeks, and football team will be playing
September 3rd, home opener, season opener versus UCLA.
And somebody can run a fly pattern, is what Chris and I have heard before, run a sky pattern as far as advertising the week of. That's Labor Day weekend. Am I correct?
You are correct.
School has started. Some high school football team will be playing that weekend. Folks, I hope they don't wait until the last minute because money is tight these days. Don't let them be making plans now to hit it out of town. Please don't.
I agree with that. You go back to marketing. Yes, it has improved, but it still has room for improvement.